Today's the day that ends in Y, so Joe Rogan is going viral again. This time for a pretty wild claim he made about Elon Musk during an interview with the comedian Andrew Schulz.
The idea that he is going to uphold this soapbox for free speech, despite having some awful things said, the greater outcome will be hopefully a civil society where ideas can permeate freely.
He may have very well saved humanity in some way. Because by providing this one platform where people can actually speak their mind, up to a point. You know, I mean, there's still some rules.
Sure.
But up to a point, you get away with a lot of shit. I see so much racist shit on Twitter now that I never saw before. Like openly racist. Really? Openly racist.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you see people chiming in that agree with it, and it's like, wow.
And then people chime in that disagree.
Yep.
And those voices are all heard, and there's a place for all of them.
Yeah, and you just have to know that people do think certain ways. You know, even if you don't like it, you have to know that people do think certain ways, and the answer to bad speech is not silencing speech. It's better speech. It's more compelling.
But you need to have a place where it can exist in order for there to be speech to even be consumed.
Right. And there was no place before he took over Twitter.
There's a lot there, and we're going to break it all down. But first, I'm Brad Palumbo, and welcome back to Mediaite, your home for commentary and coverage on the intersection of media and politics. So anyway, this statement that Elon Musk is saving humanity possibly by buying Twitter, it's obviously hyperbolic. All the headlines are focusing on this one line from Joe Rogan, and that's kind of a shame because this pretty egregious hyperbole is overshadowing what was actually a pretty interesting and thoughtful discussion about the importance of freedom of speech online. This isn't anything really unique to Joe Rogan, though. We've seen pretty widespread kind of hero worship attitudes towards Elon. I agree with a lot of what he's had to say about free speech, but some people seem to worship the ground he walks on, almost view him as this messianic figure, and that's not really justified by his record. I do think some of the changes that Elon Musk has made to Twitter, now called X, since he took over are good for supporters of freedom of speech. However, he's also time and time again gone against his promise that all legal speech, all First Amendment protected speech would be allowed on Twitter in the US. For example, Elon banned popular anti-Israel slogans like decolonization and from the river to the sea, even though, while some find them very offensive or perceive them as indirect calls for violence, they would absolutely fall under the First Amendment's protections. Elon also labeled the term cisgender, which is progressive speak for somebody who isn't transgender, as a slur, and said that repeated targeted use of it towards somebody won't be allowed on Twitter. That doesn't add up because even if you do think it's a slur, and I don't really, slurs are protected free speech. They are protected by the First Amendment, which Elon said he would allow. Elon also banned Ye, the artist formerly known as Kanye West, for anti-Semitic posts that, while they were really vile, were still First Amendment protected speech. These are just a couple of examples out of many where Elon just hasn't lived up to all his grand promises about free speech. This record of inconsistencies is what prompted the Nonpartisan Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression to conclude, for all the talk of Twitter being a digital town square, it is ultimately more like Elon Musk's house party. He is free to run it however he likes, and we are invited only if and only for as long as he likes. So Elon isn't really the free speech hero that Joe Rogan and many other people are making him out to be. That's a shame, because somebody with his power and influence who actually strongly stood up for freedom of expression, well, that kind of person would actually be worthy of all the praise that Elon keeps getting. Alright guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you find Elon Musk to be a free speech warrior, or do you think he's not been consistent with upholding his promises? Thanks again for joining me and tuning into the video. Please do consider subscribing and sticking around. Maybe even hit that like button, and don't forget to comment with your thoughts below. With that, I'll see you all in the next video.